what you call milk drunk. So welcome to the vlog. This is a very realistic day in the life with a newborn, me being a first-time mom and breastfeeding and all these new things. It's very overwhelming. So this morning was a very typical morning that's been happening pretty much every single day for the past 3 weeks. My day starts very early, around 5 or 6 for his last feeding for the night, and then I'm up. So I start making coffee, I start cleaning up the kitchen, at least a little bit while he naps. And yeah, and then the day is literally me feeding him every 2 to 3 hours. I'm living on probably like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, which has been typical actually since I brought him home, because feeding a newborn every hour to 2 hours at night, it's a lot. And I'm hearing that it's pretty typical for newborns to cluster feed or feed very often. And since, you know, he's so little, I can't sleep train him yet. I can't like push him off with feeding. Like I have to listen to his hunger cues and feed him when he's hungry. So it's been quite a challenge, the whole breastfeeding thing, but I'm doing it. So proud of myself. But that's probably been the hardest part of newborn life, is the breastfeeding thing. And speaking of breastfeeding, it was a little bit of a rough night last night because he had his tongue tie procedure yesterday morning, and I can talk about all this in a future video if you guys want, all about like why I got his tongue tie fixed and what that has to do with breastfeeding. But he's actually nursing a lot better. His latch is better, his suck is better, so I'm so glad we got the tongue tie thing done yesterday. But his mouth was really sore last night, so he was up until 2 in the morning, just fussy, wouldn't settle, and finally I gave him some baby Tylenol. Thank God for baby Tylenol. And he went to sleep finally at 2 in the morning, but then he was up at 4 for another feed, and then at 6, and that's when I started the video for you guys. So yeah, just a couple hours of sleep under my belt. Hopefully I can take a nap later. We'll see. Also, while we're on this breastfeeding topic, because like I said, this has probably been the hardest part about newborn life for me, is they say I have to feed him every 2 to 3 hours during the day, and so I have to wake him up to feed him. Otherwise he'll be too hungry at night and I won't get any sleep. But the 2 to 3 hour window between feedings starts at the previous feeding. So for example, like this morning, I started nursing him at 9 in the morning. And so it's 3 hours from 9 o'clock would be noon. And that's when I started this next feeding. So the countdown on the 2 to 3 hours starts at the start time of the previous feeding, if that makes sense. Not at the end of your last feeding, which that's what I thought was the case, but it's not. So for example, this morning, as you guys saw, I started feeding him at 9 in the morning, and that was about 45 minutes when he stopped feeding. So 9:45 we stopped, and then he was awake for about 45 minutes, so really couldn't get too much done. So by the time he fell asleep, it was almost 11. So I only had an hour to myself. So during that hour, I got the kitchen cleaned up and started to put myself together, but didn't get as far as my contacts. So my glasses are still on, but at least I got some mascara on. I washed my face, I brushed my teeth. He started screaming out there, and so I didn't have enough time to get my contacts in. So got some glasses on still, that's fine. Josh is already back at work. He's working from home, which is kind of helpful, but not really, because he's in meetings all day and conference calls. He's a prosecutor for our county, for those of you who don't know. So his job is pretty high stress, high profile, and his job is a big deal. So he can't really be distracted. Sometimes I can have him like keep an eye on him for me while I like run and do something, but I can't count on him to help me with the baby. So he went back to work last week, and so I've been solo with a newborn since last week. Change again. We go through like 3 outfits a day, don't we? I know, you're hungry again. I just fed you an hour ago. Yeah, so this is our 3rd outfit of the day because he peed through the first one. Then we had a blowout on the second one. Here, let's focus this.
For you.
My camera is not tall enough. I put a pacifier in, so hopefully I can buy myself another like 15 minutes before I feed him. And I always have to feed him around dinner time, so he gets to do all the cooking still. Okay, so I was totally going to film a like mini nursery tour today for you guys for this video, but ran out of energy. Plus one of my really good friends came and visited us. I just ran out of time. So I'm gonna dedicate another video to a nursery tour. And I don't have a nursery, as a lot of you guys know. I just have like a corner of my bedroom that I've carved out as like a nursery because we live in an apartment still and I don't have an extra room for a nursery, but we are renovating a house we just bought, and So I will have a nursery eventually, just not yet. But I still want to do this like mini nursery tour as a separate video, maybe the next video, I'm not too sure. Yeah, what do you guys say about that? You happy boy? You like your pacifier? Oh, look at you. Bath time's over.
Super clean, except for your eyes.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bubba. So obviously I did not close out the video last night after bath time. I was just exhausted. So here we are the next day. It's actually the evening. We just went for a little walk. We went for a walk this morning, which felt so good. I'm actually getting ready for Yuma to come home this weekend. For those of you who are brand new, Yuma is my Vizsla puppy. Actually, he's not a puppy anymore. He's a year and a half, but he's still very much a puppy. His energy level is out of this world. He's been at his breeders since I got hospitalized and had him. So we get him back this weekend, and this dog needs a lot of walks. So I'm practicing walking with this guy before I walk with Yuma. And so next week I'll be walking with him and the leash. We'll see how that goes. And I am so sweaty. It's beautiful outside today. And this evening it's 60 degrees and I'm like, wow, it is just absolutely gorgeous. So I had to go on a walk. I'm waiting for Josh to come home. He's been at the new house doing construction stuff as usual. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I don't even know what footage I have. So when I edit this and put it together, hopefully it's somewhat entertaining and not so boring, just me breastfeeding every 2 hours. But that is my life at this point. Yeah, newborn life, you guys, is very hard. There's a lot of sleepless nights. Pretty much every night is a sleepless night. Trying to figure him out, brand new mom, navigating breastfeeding. It is a lot, but when you've worked so hard to get to this point, and I didn't think I'd ever be a mom, it is totally worth it. I kind of just spend a lot of my time staring at him, just like in utter disbelief still, like, oh my gosh, I'm a mom, I have a son to this beautiful child. Like, I just find myself crying happy tears a lot, and a lot of it is, I'm sure, pregnancy related hormones and stuff, but it's amazing. So you guys going through IVF, fertility treatments, infertility, loss, heartache, heartbreak, whatever you're going through that's really difficult to try to get this, keep going, never give up. I always tell you guys that basically at the end of every video because I truly mean it. Yeah, I just never thought this would happen for me. All right, so stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be my nursery tour, and I'm gonna highlight all the things that I've been using that I really love for him and to make my life easier. The next video after that will be another IVF video specifically on IVF pregnancies and why they are high risk, everything that I've learned in the hospital when I was hospitalized for preeclampsia and hypertension. And to close out the video, you moms who are watching this out there, remind yourselves that you are amazing. You are truly amazing. You're doing a great job raising your kids. And yeah, always remind yourself of that. Life is hard enough being female and a mom as it is. So always remind yourself that you're doing a great job. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it because it really helps support my channel. I will see you in the next one, and always remember to be kind to yourself. And he is out.